think it's going.
Talking about it and do something!
Suck my dick, Earth, with that bullshit.
Really?
It's like a gentle hate.
Do we have another benevolent star here? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you benevolent as your friend was?
My name is Logan Paul, and I think I'm coming out of the flat earth closet.
This is so fucking depressing. I can't be a flat earth person.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have a flat earth and things making sense.
Good evening, YouTube, and welcome to Jem's Flat Earth Sunday Roast. In tonight's show, we bring you the very best from the last week in Conspiritardia. Yes, we watched hours of their stupid shit, so you didn't have to. We've got batty flatties, time-travelling Trumps, and that Pratt Bev droning on about level. I am your host, Jem, and joining me as always are just some of the cool kids from the Debate Flat Earth and More Discord server. They are Curved, Kosho, and M. Scott Beach. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Oi.
Oi.
I'm excited about your videos tonight.
It's going to be good. We've got a good mix coming up. Also joining us this evening, our very special guest, all the way from the land down under, the TTguy. Welcome, TT.
Good evening, Jem. Good evening, folks. Looking forward to delving into some Dirtopia this evening.
Cool. Just in case anyone doesn't remember who you are, TTguy brought us a report from the New Zealand Flat Earth Convention a little while back, and one from a little bit from the Australian one, which was, I guess, how many people turned up for the Australian one, TT?
I believe it was 3, and one of those was a journalist, one was the guy that organised it, and then there was some other random dude. So I'm very proud as an Australian that was the degree that the Flat Earth Conference got going in Australia. So yeah.
Right, yeah. I think you can be proud of that. Here in the UK, we have the opposite thing going on. We have a massively disproportionate number of British flat earthers, I think.
Yes.
So it is what it is. So, shall we get on with it? I think we should.
Let's do it.
Great stuff. So, I should say, it's TheTTguy, your channel, right? So people should check that out.
Yeah.
I did want to mention as well, you did an awesome video, what was it, last week, the week before, the one with the cloud formations in it. That was just superb, I thought.
Yeah, that's one. I'm quite proud of that one. That's an old video of mine, but it's really hard for a flat earther to argue against that one, as we saw with Skouboe, spluttering away about it. But anyway,
right.
Check that one out if you want to look as the first thing to look at on my channel.
Yeah, very, very distinctive cloud formation that someone photographed from an aeroplane, and then TT was able to find a matching satellite photograph of this very distinctive cloud pattern. And I think that's cool, because I've often heard, I have to say, people from this side of the argument make that argument that you could just, you can look at, say, footage from the ISS and match the cloud patterns. And having tried to do that, it's really a lot easier said than done, I think. And I thought you achieved it brilliantly. So that was awesome. So check that out, the TTguy. Anyway, what else have I got to say? Feel free to make a comment in the chat if it's interesting or funny. I might even read it out, or hit the super chat please hit the super chat and I'll read it out, regardless of it being interesting or funny. So, kicking off tonight, our first clip tonight comes from King and Queen of Flat Earth, Mark Sargent and Karen B, who demonstrate what a flatty friend of mine used to call the conspiratorial mindset.
There we go. And Peanut Gallery chimes in and says, mention the 6-year-old dying of COVID. Oh, right. So, post. Well, hang on. I got to find the article real fast for it. Karen, have you heard this one?
No.
Okay. So, it's on Fox News. And the reason why it's notable is it's Fox News. So, the headline literally reads, you know how everything in the media is hype. Right. You try to hype up anything. Mm-hmm. And the headline reads, Nebraska boy 6 dies after diagnosed with coronavirus. Report. Right. He's potentially the first child to die from the virus in Douglas County, Nebraska. However, the first line of this thing, literally the first line of this article, thank you, Peanut Gallery, by the way, for pasting that, says this. A 6-year-old Nebraska boy who has been battling the coronavirus and previously received a triple organ transplant has died, according to a report on Monday. That's all you could basically stop reading after that. I got news for you, folks. If you don't know much in the world of medical procedures, having one organ transplant is never good. Having 3, you could be a triathlon winner. You would have a hard time making it through. I mean, it's not a guarantee. So, but again, Fox is I don't know why, but they have caved in, and now they are pushing they're pushing the narrative. There was a fast food restaurant. I can't remember if it was Jack in the Box or Burger King, where the girl, it's all drive-through, and the girl who was running the drive-through, she said, "Oh no, I can't hand you the food to your car unless you're wearing a mask." And the guy, we're getting to the stage now, where people are snapping, they're freaking losing it, and so he said, "Okay, fine," and he pulls off. He gets out of the car and he walks up to the drive-through window and just starts beating the crap out of her, because it's like, I don't know if he took the food and left. I don't know if they caught him, but he was having none of that. I mean, it got to the point where it's like, I don't care if you're an employee or not. If you're going to follow that line of stupidity. Yeah. Oh yeah. Wait a minute. Peanut Gallery just sent me a thing. McDonald's, no mask, no service at the drive-through at McDonald's. Is that true? Is that new?
Yeah. At the drive-thru?
No.
San Francisco.
Yeah. Is this real? McDonald's employee in Oakland. Oh, yeah. No, this was it. Yeah, sorry. It was McDonald's. Yeah. Yep. It was a McDonald's employee in Oakland when, quote unquote, in Oakland said she was grabbed, hit, and slapped by a customer. after
she told him he had to wear a face mask in order to receive his order.
Yep. Anyone listening to this, you go to your cell phone, you look at your contact list. Have you had to delete anyone from that list because they died of the virus? I highly doubt it. If you have, please email me. I would love to hear about this person.
So, that was Mark Sargent and Karen B celebrating the illness and death of a 6-year-old child and the assault of a fast food worker. I kind of wondered how this clip would go down and whether people would get it, but judging from the chat, people got it straight away.
Oh, there's nothing funnier than a child dying. That's great work, Mark. Yep.
Just awful. I mean, your thoughts, Scott? You're in media.
I mean, it's the thing that's most appalling. Obviously, the thing that's most appalling is that they can't stop giggling as they talk about the 6-year-old who died. Completely putting aside the question of whether or not the cause of death could accurately be ascribed to one thing or another, completely ignoring that question. Something is broken. Something's going wrong when all you can do is react with laughter when you acknowledge the 6-year-old is dead. I don't get it. There's nothing fun or funny or amusing about it. And the same kind of goes for the other one too. It's like, it's peals of laughter. The idea that, people are getting so fed up with stuff that they're, grabbing innocent, McDonald's workers and slapping them and, punching them. It's not a good look for anybody.
Right.
So I guess I'm mostly distracted by the fact that they're so obnoxious about that stuff, which,
Yeah. I mean, that was really what the clip was about, was just how utterly obnoxious they were. And this is on Truth Frequency Radio, this goes out. So, I mean, this is an internet radio station, but, I mean, they have proper commercials. They carry Fox News at the top of the hour and all this sort of thing. And you do have to wonder what their advertisers would think if they spotted this,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar to what Alex Jones. Well, it's not exactly the same thing, but it's in the same vein. I think, because I mean, it's like if this kid died from a motorcycle accident, like you've heard those ones like, oh, they died from a motorcycle accident, and they said it was COVID.
Right.
That I could see why you'd have objection towards that, but he's literally saying that this kid had like surgeries and he had also corona and he passed away. So it's kind of obvious that corona played a part in his survivability from those surgeries or not. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's definitely relevant there.
And it's a 6-year-old child that's obviously spent most of their life suffering in some way, and to just it's overlook that entirely. I don't know. My mouth fell open when I heard this, and
It literally didn't even cross their mind to even second guess their reaction. I bet you if they heard of this, maybe the first time they thought about it, which is kind of shocking. And I don't know if it's them particularly or if it's even this community, but there's definitely people people seem to stop checking themselves in terms of the way they treat or think about others lately. But I could be wrong with that.
Well, I mean, I said the conspiratorial mindset, and I think there's an element of that in there, where people are so caught up in the conspiracy and feeling like, they're justified in their belief of it, that, they just overlook, if they see something like this, which they think confirms their belief, the content of it is irrelevant. It confirms their belief, and that's all they can see. It seems like they're just blinkered to the win in some way. Anyway, it was a point I wanted to make, although a bit of a depressing one. Go on, Kosho, please.
Oh no, I was just gonna agree with you that that they're so caught up in whatever it is that they believe it to be real, to the point where they're, doing very real actions, like not, wearing masks or whatever, or not, or like laughing at kids who died. Like the kid's definitely dead in real life. So it's like he sounds delighted by it, but it's because he sees this whole thing as like it's a big joke, basically.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ceti.
Retard. It's probably it's probably a crisis actor or something. Whatever. That's the sort of mentality that goes on in their mind as well. That's maybe how they justify it to themselves. It's really a crisis actor. It didn't happen. Blah blah blah. So,
right. I mean, Termin just put in the chat that he said none of the articles I could find state when they had the transplants. However, he was expected to start school this fall. So
yeah.
It obviously did. Well, I won't say obviously, but it seems likely that COVID did play a big role in this.
Sure.
But
even if it wasn't that risky of surgeries, or if it was, either way, that's definitely what's going to tip the scale. I mean,
what evidence did Mark have? That he was not doing well otherwise. Just because he had this procedure.
Yeah,
right.
Just his own understanding about surgeries.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. But you know how it is. They're all experts in everything, aren't they? So,
Sargent's the kind of guy that doesn't even have the common courtesy to unabashedly give a shout out to Baron Von Poopy Pants or the Sultan of Stink. That's unforgivable.
Oh, yeah, talking of which, I've forgotten a super chat. Hang on.
Yeah, I was trying to segue for you.
What is the independent variable? What is the independent variable for this level of disrespect and idiocy? Have £3 on me. Get some beans, mate. And that's from Digital Demonic Davros. Thank you, Davros. It's always a generous super chatter. Thank you. Now then, what's next? Yes, sometimes these days it seems like the Flat Earth movement has become the anti-mask movement. The flatties just can't stop droning on about this. A couple of examples coming up, starting with one from 24/7's craziest crazies, one of 24/7's craziest crazies, Vlad on Flat Earth. He's going to the dentist.
Excuse me, my daughter's not wearing a mask.
Why not?
By law. Show me the law where it says you have to wear the mask. Call somebody.
Yeah, sir, I need you to step outside. We can't have
Call somebody right now. What's the mask for?
Sir,
tell me.
Close the door, please.
What is it for?
Sir, close the door, please.
Call somebody right now. Picking up a retainer.
She's just trying to work.
Huh? I don't give a shit. Let's see what they say. Dylan, talk to me. We're not putting a mask on.
Okay. You're not putting a mask on?
No.
Okay.
Neither is my daughter. So either bring the retainer out or
Okay, so
what's the deal?
We're not allowed to.
You're not allowed? Can you show me the law?
Yeah, it's
This is going to my lawyer. Show me the law.
Okay, that's
Where I
fine.
have to wear the mask.
Give me a moment.
Yes, thank you. Take your time. These zombies. Excuse me, so my daughter didn't have to wear the mask 2 days ago. What changed?
She did.
No, she didn't.
She did.
No, she didn't.
We don't allow people in the building.
That's
so.
bullshit. We both came without a mask.
No.
And what's the mask for?
Okay, excuse me.
Can you tell me what is it for?
It's required.
By
the whole
who?
Social Distancing Department of Health.
We're not social distancing right now.
Okay.
Show me the law.
You need to back up.
Show me the law. This is going
One
to my
moment,
lawyer.
please. That's fine.
Show me the law.
That's fine. Give
You
us
need
a
to.
moment. Don't hold on to the door. I'm asking you to back up.
You're gonna show me the law?
I'm gonna.
I'm waiting for a retainer right
I'm
now.
getting the law for you.
Okay, please.
The law is being the same. The law is being
I
the
didn't put the
same.
mask on since it fucking started. Nor do I plan to. You wanna obey? You wanna be? You don't even know for what? What's the virus?
You see
Tell
the
me
virus.
what's the virus.
I got the virus. I was sick.
Really?
I was sick. I was in
Really?
the hospital for 3 days.
Spit on my hand.
I wouldn't do
Spit
that.
on my hand,
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Take
I
it
wouldn't
off.
do
Talk
that
to
for
me,
you.
bro.
I wouldn't do that for
Take
you.
the muzzle off,
I
bro.
wouldn't do that for you.
Take the muzzle
I
off,
wouldn't
bro.
do that for you. I was sick with
For
it.
me?
I was sick.
Wait,
I would
you
do
trying
that
to
for you.
protect me?
Yes.
So I'm
That's
saying.
what is this for.
So
this
good.
is for is to protect you.
So good for you.
If I'm sick, you see, if I'm sick, listen, if I'm sick, anything that I do, okay, that spit can get on you and you can get sick.
Really?
That's how I got sick.
Really?
I got sick for somebody that didn't have the mind, the right mind to protect myself.
Really?
With them.
But you don't even know what virus is.
I know what the virus
What
is.
is
I
it?
did.
What is
I
it?
did.
What
you
is
know
it?
what? I did. I
Oh.
did all my research.
What is it?
I did all my research.
What is it?
I did all my research.
What is it?
Do your research.
What's a virus?
Do research.
What's
Do
a
your
virus?
research. The virus.
Bro, you
attack
just
your
wearing
lungs.
bro.
Attack your lungs. Attack your
What
system.
is a
Attack
virus?
everything.
What is a
Okay?
virus?
Okay?
What is a virus?
Bro.
You clueless.
Bro.
Can anybody here tell me what a virus is? Can you tell me? Can you call somebody? I'm waiting for the. They fucking is shutting the door on me, dude.
Well, it's what I tell you. We have to go everywhere we
Because
go. We have to
everybody's
follow
supposed
rules.
to be a monkey like you
see,
guys. How you doing, sir?
going on?
I'm making a video for my lawyer.
Okay.
I need to know why my daughter can't pick up the retainer. We were here 2 days ago, no mask, no face diapers on her face. Now all of a sudden, they won't let her in. Please talk to me. This is going to my lawyer.
Okay. Well, there is a mandate, and
What's the mandate?
Governor put out a mandate that all people have to wear. Can I talk? That all people have to wear face masks when they go into a business. This is a private business. They can refuse service to anybody they
She
want
was
to.
here 2 days ago, took an impression with an open mouth and everything.
Okay, well.
Now she just coming to pick it up, and we can't pick it up.
Okay.
I'll wait right here in front of the door. We're not putting a face muzzle on the face. That's it. It's a face diaper. We're not putting it on by the law. And this is going to my lawyer.
They don't have to let you.
They don't have to let me in. I'm just waiting. I'll wait right here.
Okay.
We're just picking it up. 2 days ago, we were here without a mask. Without a mask.
So we require face masks to come inside.
I don't have to come inside.
Why don't you step over here out of the doorway?
Okay, talk to me. And I'm asking any of these medical professionals to tell me what is a virus. Nobody can tell me. They're shutting the door on me.
Well,
Get out of there. They're pushing me out.
Stay back a little bit.
Oh, is this social distancing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
They go by the guidelines of the health department of Pennsylvania. That's what they got to go by, and that's what I got to go by. Okay?
Can somebody tell me what a virus is? I refuse to put that on my face.
Okay. Do you know what a virus is?
I don't care. I don't believe in virus.
You don't believe in a
No.
virus?
No. It's a
Well, I
hoax.
do.
It's
Well,
a
I do.
hoax.
I believe it.
It's an Event 201 hoax. You know what that is?
Okay.
It's a pandemic exercise that started in October 2019, and they just made it real to put everybody in fear-based mind control.
That might be what you think.
That's what it is. Because you can't tell me what virus. Nobody can tell me what virus is.
So obviously, you don't know anybody that had it.
Nobody knows one. You have a bug on your. You have a bug right there. Okay, it flew off.
A family member of mine had it.
Had what?
The virus.
And who
COVID.
told them that they have virus?
They were in the hospital. They were in a coma.
Really? In a coma? Wow.
They were in a coma.
I believe that. I believe that. I don't know anyone.
Because I saw it.
I don't know anyone.
Well, I
And
saw
where's
it.
the test? You saw the test? And who tested it? And what's the COVID? What does that mean?
No, maybe
What is
the
a virus,
person
bro?
weren't- Maybe they weren't in the hospital in a coma.
So anybody, person can fall out of a helicopter right now, they're going to put it down as COVID.
I don't care what they put it down as.
It's bullshit. It's a hoax.
When you were here the other day, you wore a face mask.
No. I didn't put one since, dude, I don't put the face diapers on my face.
Everybody said you wore one when you came in.
They're lying. Let's call them outside.
You know what? Keep distance. I'm in chief of police here. You keep a distance.
Can you please call them outside? They're liars.
Well, first of all,
ask my daughter.
The way you're acting in there, I don't know if they went.
I wasn't even in there.
Well,
I wasn't even trying to go in. My daughter just went to pick it up. She was here 2 days ago. She didn't put the face diaper on.
They said
Now
that
all
she
of a
was-
sudden,
They said that she was wearing it, and then they took
lying.
it off to fit it.
They're lying.
Well,
Call them outside.
I just talked to them.
This is going to court. This video is going to court. They're liars.
If you're not happy with
Listen,
the service here, then you can
listen.
go
Let me just tell
somewhere
you one thing. There's a cameras right here. Let's play it.
else. Well, I'm
This
just
is going to
saying,
court.
If you're not, can I talk?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So they want, in order to retain her to be released, I mean, if you want it, they'll give it to you. But she should be fitted for it to make sure it fits properly. If you don't want her to get fitted for it, I'll just tell them to give it to you. And you can
Just
go.
give it, please. Thank you.
Stay right there.
I'll stay right here. No problem. I'm not putting a face diaper on my face, man. I'm a man. I'm a 42-year-old man. I don't put face diapers.
Whatever you say.
Listen to this guy. Can you hear? Can you believe this? I need to be removed or arrested.
There you go.
Thank you
There
so
you
much.
go.
Hey, there's no COVID on this, right?
Hey, by the way, your business is not welcome here anymore. They don't want you back here anymore.
I won't. Okay.
And that was Vlad on Flat Earth paying a trip to the dentist.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? You know, I could be wrong. I'm just gonna say this, just to be clear. This could be this may not be the same Vlad that's in 24/7.
Oh, right. Well, I wasn't sure, but he was mental enough, and that one is crazy, isn't it? Scott would know, though, because he's tangled with him a lot. Is this the one from 24/7, Scott?
Yeah, I know Vlad. It's pretty much typical Vlad. Although I will say he told me that he was 32 in the last fight that we had. I don't know how he suddenly aged a decade, but I guess he was making a big deal about how he was still young and all this other stuff. And I was, how old are you really? He said, the early 30s, 32, but evidently not. Right. I don't get, like, the thing that's hilarious with the whole thing to me is that if he said it once, he said it 80 million times. This is for his lawyer. I don't know what he means by that or what he thinks he's saying or doing or who he thinks he's fooling, but it's so cringy. It hurts to listen to. And I know it's not a big deal. I know it's not the hugest in the world, but it's kind of pathetic that he's not going to let his daughter get fitted for this retainer because he's so hell-bent on being a dick about the mask. It's like, just don't take it out on the girl. Let her at least get the retainer, correctly fitted.
Stick the mask on for the 5 minutes while you go in the bloody dentist. Jesus,
It's like much ado about nothing. It's like there's an old Kissinger quote about academia that the reason why it's so bloodthirsty and cutthroat is precisely because the stakes are so low. And I'm like, I think people get so up in arms about the mask because the stakes are low, because there's not, they can, because the stakes are nothing. So they make it life and death in order to fight about it. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Well, that's why he said that about his lawyer, though. He just wants to make sure that they don't give him shit for recording them. So I'm sure. I mean, maybe it's legal there, maybe it's not. I don't know, but I think he's just trying to because he's obviously like live streaming it or whatever. So instead of saying that, he just wants to. He just keeps justifying that he's going to show it to his lawyer. He's not going to show it to his lawyer.
Of course he's not. It's an empty threat. It's a silliness.
Yeah, it's like there's stupid hills to die on. Like some people die on the dumbest hills. Right. It's like there's you don't look good in any way right there. Like in front of these people trying to get this thing for your daughter. It's like, it's not difficult to just put this on your daughter.
Go ahead, TT. Go ahead.
Did you see the look on the lady's face at the door when that came around? I think that look said, "Oh no, not one of these guys again." I just had to look at that, because I think it probably means that sadly that this is not the first time this has happened to her. She was, immediately turned around and went inside. Oh shit, one of these guys.
I have to say though, I don't like wearing a mask. I do wear one. I go to the shop quite regularly, and they want you to wear a mask, so I do wear it. If I go on public transport, which I do occasionally, I wear one because you have to. So I comply, but I have to say I don't really like wearing the mask thing. And the other thing I'll say, I made this point, and you kind of saw it in this video, although you probably didn't catch it. But when you wear a mask, you're constantly having to adjust it to pull it back over your nose and stuff. And I wonder, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what the numbers are, but it does seem like we're sort of creating a possible point of infection by doing that, where I wouldn't be touching my face if I hadn't got a mask on. So, I don't know. I'm not mad keen on them, but I comply because it's the socially responsible thing to do, I think. Nobody got any thoughts on that?
I was using push to talk. I forgot I had to unmute. But no, I mean, I think that's everybody's feeling about it. I mean, I'm yeah, because I mean, I don't enjoy wearing them at all at any time. But it's not that hard. Like, I forget who said it, but it's a very small compliance to to adjust to, and like the possible risk, like even if it's a tiny risk, it's like it's just wearing a mask. So it's like having an ordeal like this, or even with the Mark Sargent had said and the about the McDonald's person. I don't know if that's a true story or not, but if that is, that's wildly disturbing that somebody would assault someone as a staffer.
It really is disturbing, isn't it?
Yeah.
As you said, oh, go ahead, Curve. Sorry.
I like wearing the mask. It allows me to feel mysterious, like I'm on a recon mission or some other covert op. It's entertaining. I think people should take advantage of that.
Yeah, I agree with that, though.
When you go to the bank, how does it work?
yeah. Now you have to wear a mask to go in the bank.
I don't go in the bank.
I know, Jim, you're about to say something, but yeah, somebody had robbed a bank around the corner from me without a gun or a car when this whole thing started. I was like, holy hell. Like, they were just wearing one of those masks.
I mean, I think the medical people had been concerned about that point you raised, Jem, about, yes, maybe it might protect people, but then there's the increasing the touching of your face while you're wearing it. And I think there was some discussion about that issue. I guess maybe they've done the cost benefit analysis, or maybe some research has shown that maybe it still is on the plus side. They're not compulsory. They haven't been suggested to be worn in Australia unless you live in Melbourne at the moment. So yeah,
right. I mean, here it's not. I mean, well, it's in shops and definitely on public transport. But they don't. I mean, I go in the shop and there are people in there without masks. They don't bother confronting people, I don't think. But they certainly were a week or two ago. So I'm not really sure. Anyway, Kosho, you mentioned this being an odd hill to die on, which would have been a good segue. I can't think of the word. A good segue into this next clip, which is a similar sort of thing, brought to you courtesy of our old friend Flat Earth Fokker, who, after he was officially declared to be an idiot and had his business license revoked, Fokker is looking to relocate. Sadly for Fokker, this requires that he uses an airport, and this doesn't go too well.
Get ready to get sued. There's still time. You guys can correct this and remedy this. I have a mask. I have my coffee. I have my sandwich. I'm ready to go. When do I get to fly? Can you contact them? You guys are causing me harm. I'm here. You haven't told me what I've done. I have broken no rules. I've broken 0 rules. All I did was ask questions. So now, can you guys remedy this?
So we're going to we're getting your bag, so we can pull your bag off the flight.
So, sir, your bags will be pulled, and the ramp is looking for them right now. They will be dispensed downstairs on level 2, just where you would pick up your bags if you were flying in. The best suggestion is if you keep your mask on within the airport. We ask that you do that just for the courtesy of others.
I'm eating.
That's
you don't.
fine. I'm just saying when you get
Okay.
downstairs. I understand.
I did wear my mask.
No,
Okay.
I'm just telling you what they've asked me to ask you, or to let you know.
Who's they?
The baggage guys. So when you get downstairs, you'll get your bag, and then what you can do is call customer relations to be rebooked for your next flight. So when you will be traveling, it depends on how it goes from here on in. Okay?
I want some answers. Like,
Okay, well, you can call customer relations.
no, I want answers now. Can you call
sir?
customer? No, I'm like, what are you treating me like this? I'm professional. I'm being calm.
There's been issues along the way, and we do need to nip it in the
What
bud.
are the issues?
Well-
Again, you guys haven't answered what any of these issues are.
So I'm not sure, I wasn't there to know, but I know that at this point, we don't feel comfortable having you on board the aircraft. When people.
Why is that?
Because it seems that you're a bit of a safety issue at this point for everyone on board.
Unsafe
okay?
how?
Well, by the way your personality is coming across, you're being very irate. When you're unable to follow rules, that is part of we have to make sure everyone on board the aircraft is safe. So,
What rules didn't I follow?
well, I guess when you came to check in, there were things that you weren't wearing your mask, you didn't want to sanitize your hands, etc. Okay? So after discussing it not only with our management, but on board the aircraft, everyone feels that this is the best and safest way to go for everyone, including yourself.
So I came there and said I have a medical condition and an exemption.
Okay? But if you don't have your medical letter and everything
Okay.
to say that, anybody can say that, sir.
Okay, so
And for the safety of everyone, if you have a medical exemption, then there is special letters that are being sent out. If you're unable to follow the rules of the airline, we are a transportation company. We have a contract that we have to abide with everyone. If you don't follow those rules, then we have the right to refuse you travel.
okay, so again, which rules did I not follow? Can I get your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Laura.
Laura?
Yeah.
What's your last name?
I don't give out my last name, sir.
So
I
you're
am-
giving me dictates and you're not giving me your last
I'm
name?
just telling you exactly what is being said.
Okay, you made a lot of claims.
No, I didn't.
And you're
make it.
saying
Sir, I'm not having this conversation. I'm just letting you know where your bag is. Okay? So at this point, it's either this or now, the next step is us calling the RCMP, and we were trying to avoid doing that, but that's where we're at.
So can you put yourself in my position?
I can, and I would have a mask on. When I enter into the facility, they ask that we have a mask. We wear a mask at all times.
Who are you with Air Canada? Your customer relations, your guest relations?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm talking to you right now. Don't be a coward and don't send me on the phone. Do your job, please, sir.
We don't feel comfortable you're traveling. Simple as that right now.
So rectify the situation. Tell me what's going to happen. Like, book me on the next flight and you haven't given me a reason. I don't know what you're afraid of. I don't feel comfortable. Like, you control your own feelings. I put on the mask. I complied with everything. You're making me sound like I'm some stupid idiot. I complied with everything because I want to get on the flight. I even had a conversation with you when you said this could possibly happen. And I said, I understand. Okay. As a man to man, you walked away from me. Do you understand what it means to be a man and have an agreement and you go and pull this?
I didn't pull anything, sir. So you went through security where you caused another thing. Security came and talked to me.
What did I?
I'm not really sure. I'm not privy to the conversation.
So you're not even sure what happened and you're kicking me off the flight. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. And then you're like, oh, you're being irate. Put yourself in my position. Would you not be a little bit frustrated right now? I've been calm with you the whole time. And now you're saying, oh, I'm trying to stay as calm as I can. You don't even know what happened at security. My relationship with you guys was perfect, professional, understood. I asked questions. I got the answers I needed, and the questions that you couldn't answer, you gave me a phone number to call later. So what part of that leads you to be like, you can't board our flight and go grab like this goon here, who had no interactions with me? You can't nod your head like this. You fucked up my fucking life right now. How do you even feel good about yourself? I did nothing wrong. I agree with you. I complied.
Okay.
So please rectify this right now. Tell me what flight I'm getting on. Give me the boarding pass. I've been honorable with you the whole time. If you expect me to be a little, like, compliant little sheep bitch, sorry, I'm not that. I ask questions to understand. I showed you on my phone. Nothing came up as you're booking the flight. For all this time, I got nothing, no emails till yesterday. Okay? I only booked this flight 2 weeks ago. Nothing came up on there. I've been honorable. I came here. I asked questions. I wasn't difficult any part of the way. Just because you're used to people just being obedient little bitches and I asked a few questions, that doesn't make me a bad person.
And that was Flat Earth Fokker spreading as many of his waterborne bacteria as he can around an airport departure lounge.
Yeah, it's one of the funniest videos. I think it's like almost like you'd see it like in a TV show or something, like somebody purposely doing that, where he's eating the entire fucking time. He's talking about like, that not being rude. He got like food coming out of his mouth on his chin.
God, it's unbelievable, wasn't it? Just unbelievable.
Yeah, he's literally chewing the entire time.
I mean, I wouldn't have wanted him on my aeroplane. I know that. Go ahead, TT.
What's that German word about, a karma?
Schadenfreude, I think.
Schadenfreude. Thank you. This is just, isn't this Schadenfreude?
Yeah.
This is fantastic. So funny, because they pegged him. Oh, I'm just asking questions. Yeah, I guess he was just asking questions at the gate, and people said, "This guy is a fucking lunatic, and he's going to be a problem on the flight." They predicted the future. Yeah, just by his just yakking off at the gate.
I think what really did it was I didn't include this because it was sort of lost in other bits of it. But at one point, he'd told them, one of these airport people, that he might have an anxiety attack if he wore a mask, was the point he was making. So I think that was probably what swung it. And I think he was being a pain in the arse throughout. You noticed it with Vlad on Flat Earth as well. They all feel that they're entitled to have their questions answered and, written laws brought out to them to inspect and, all this. They're all entitled to this. They're entitled to have to be able to ask questions about things that they should have educated themselves on themselves, and which, truly speaking, they have. They're just pretending they haven't and being a pain in the arse, I think.
What is a virus? What is a virus? What is a virus?
Right, yeah. Exactly.
It was beautiful how he was trying to pull the old, I've got a medical exemption. She says, well, sir, if you had a medical exemption, you'd be able to show me the documentation and you would have been able to fill in this form. And so, no, you don't have a medical exemption.
Yeah, he obviously thought he was going to get away with that like he probably does going into a supermarket or a 7-Eleven or something. And obviously in an airport, it ain't going to work, is it,
Yeah, well, you mean I guess I didn't see the rest of the video, so maybe there's a lot more that he's showing. But even if I was just assuming based off his past, the videos he did, at the hospitals and stuff like that, he's just like aggressively rude to people,
right?
For the purpose of making a video half the time. Like he goes in the store like wearing like a mask that's not at all protecting your mouth at all. But yeah, if he's going to an airport and he's not wearing a mask and that's the rules, I mean, I don't know why you would think that that you're going to be able to get on the plane.
Right. That's it. Yeah. Because they're used to turning people away from flights, All you have to do is, I've seen it on these fly on the wall shows where someone makes some joke to their mate when they're at check-in about them having a bomb in their bag or something. And that's it. They're not flying, you know. Or them having, have you got the drugs on you, mate? Ha 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 ha. You know, they make a joke like that at the check-in, and that's it. The airline won't fly them.
Or Alec Baldwin got pulled off a plane once, I think, because he was playing, what was he playing? Angry Birds or something like that. And he wouldn't put his phone away, and he got angry with them or whatever, got irate, and so he got pulled off the plane.
There was one I saw where a guy was checking in a violin in a violin case, and his friend was stood with him and made some joke about it being a machine gun. Because I think that's in some gangster movie, I think, where they hide machine guns in violin cases, I think. And yeah, that got them removed from the flight, that comment. So it doesn't take much, you know, and just being a big pain in the arse in an airport is going to be enough, you know.
Yeah, you would think, though, that they wouldn't mind getting rid of him, though. Like they say, okay, you can get him to plane in one condition if you're leaving Canada.
Right. He was flying internally, I believe, because he does get there in the end. But that is a very long video. I think it was maybe 40 minutes he's in there moaning and groaning. And in the end, they all just walk off and leave him there on his own.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Sorry, we've got to go. And off they all go. And, you know, he's still shouting at them. And they've gone to the other end of that long room. And they're stood by the door about to walk out. And said, sorry, we've got to go. And they just leave him there. And then he reads his chat messages, swears, and puts his stuff on and goes. And then he has more of it the following day when he goes back, and I think then he's compliant.
Yeah. Well, he's got a lot of unfortunate frames in that one. Like I said, he got the food on his chin.
Yeah.
And he's got one where it's just sitting on the counter, and it's like it looks like he's got women's breast for a whole minute. I'm not sure what was up with that. It was just the angle, but they looked like women's breasts. So
I think that he maybe started eating the food so that he could continue to have a reason not to wear a mask. I think that was maybe what he was up to.
Yeah, exactly. Which is either way that you put that. If he's just that rude that he's not even aware that he's constantly eating the entire conversation, that's one thing. But if he's doing that just to try to be a smart ass and get around, you know, the rules, where he's trying to get back on the plane, I mean, it's like, what kind of strategy is that? They're not gonna. In either case, they're not gonna fucking think that you got respect or whatever. He's claiming he's got all this mad respect, and he's like coughing on him when he says that.
Right.
I think I also saw him just drop the food wrapper on the floor in front of him on the counter. I thought that's the sort of guy we got here. Just eat, just drop it on the floor.
Yeah, he is such a pig, that guy. I mean, on those, you know, we had videos of him going around the hospitals when he thought it, you know, well, he still thinks it's all a hoax. And he was coughing and spluttering and spitting out of the window. And, oh, God, he is a gross man. He really is.
Good for views, though.
Yeah, he did generate some good stuff at the beginning there, yeah. Anyway, after those 3 depressing clips, let's take a look at face masks from a different angle. Their hidden benefits. You mentioned it.
Wearing a face mask is very effective against the spread of disease, but there are many additional benefits too. Thanks to face masks, I've managed to save a fortune in fake tan. Thanks, face masks!
I used to be terrible at poker. But now with face masks, I can't stop winning. Thanks, face masks!
Right, so the Battle of Hastings 1066. Alright, who keeps doing that? I've had enough. Who is it? It was me, sir. Where are you? Over here, you dumbass. Who said that?
I used to be mortified turning up at my son's parent-teacher meeting with red wine teeth. But now with face masks, it's just not a concern. Oh God, that's a gorgeous Merlot.
I used to have to cover my mouth when I yawned. Now it's not rude anymore.
I was barred from this pub for life, but with face masks, bottoms up.
Jerry Callahan, you're barred.
Let us finish the point, will you?
I used to be really embarrassed about buying condoms, but now with face masks.
How can I help you?
Oh,
I get the red ones, please.
No problem. Say hello to your mother for me, Darren.
I used to dread going to the dentist, but now it's easy.
Look, if you don't take off the face mask, I can't remove the tooth.
Result! The benefits are endless, so why not wear a face mask? Thanks, face masks! So, no.
I wouldn't go straight in there. Just give it a whirl. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay, because I'm wearing a face mask. Oh, Jesus. That's awful. Close that.
Dennis, you get another bottle of that, please.
Doomed up.
Hello, we're Four Lambs and Hog. Thanks for watching the video. We have a new one every Thursday.
That was Four Arms and Hog. And it's not all bad, is it? Face masks, not all bad.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, there's also, because, you know, sometimes you see like a woman at the grocery store and you can't really tell if she's attractive or not attractive, but there's something to, I feel like there's more flirting that's going on because there's eye contact. It's like being held for a longer time. I don't know. There's something to that.
Mystique. The mystique.
Well, that's what you said, Curve. You're now more mysterious. Has anyone got any other hidden benefits of face masks?
Well, some of my children work in customer service. I got a daughter that works at KFC, and she's constantly, you know, talking about how she has rude customers, and she was looking forward to when she might be able to wear a mask and be able to sort of go, you know, yes, sir, and then be really snarly behind the mask. So I think it might help to ease the sort of psychological problems of working in customer service, I think.
Yeah. I used to love to do things like that when I worked behind bars for a long time, and I used to slag customers off when I turned around to get a drink and things like that.
You can stick your tongue out now.
You were a prison worker, Jim?
I thought it might sound like that. But yeah, I always think that people who work in customer service, they tend to sort of find sticks to beat the customers with, you know, because that's how you stay sane, you know, and the sticks to beat a customer with are just anything that you can use to where a customer has to comply with some rule that they slip up and don't, you know. I can remember when they first banned smoking in pubs, or some pubs did it before it became the law, and there were staff who were religious about stopping people from smoking, and it was a real, campaign for them, you know. Anyway. Enough of that. I thought that was a little funny thing that we should have there, because they were all a bit depressing, those clips, I thought. Anyway, time now for our weekly glance at the 17th letter of the alphabet. Here is some truly creepy shit. Oops.
The adrenochrome industry is a worldwide operation that is so well organized that it can account for almost every missing child on the planet. The adrenochrome industry is real. Adrenochrome is harvested from the adrenal glands of tortured live children. It is then sold on the black market to people who consider themselves the elite. Adrenochrome harvesting is a satanic ritual and must come to an end. Our children are not, I repeat, not for your harvesting, for your drug addiction and your satanic ways and your global cabal, satanic cabal, is falling.
Well, I said it was creepy.
I missed the price on there. Did it come up?
I don't know. I just thought I saw one fly by in the chat. Did someone say 2,000 a gram or something? I don't know. Sure.
I was saying in this advertisement.
Oh, Shroomy said that.
It's a great advertisement, but yeah, it's got to be expensive.
Does it exist? This stuff, is it real?
Come on. I mean, in
no idea.
What's that movie? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. He does. Shit, I muted myself. But he does adrenochrome in that movie. But I think it's not in the book. I heard that he doesn't do it in the book. But it's definitely a real thing. I don't think that you get it from children now. I mean, I don't know. I really don't even know what the benefit would be. But when he does it in the movie, he gets really, really messed up for 2 weeks.
Right. I mean, I don't really know what to make of that, but I thought it was, well, interesting.
Yeah, well, it's obviously somebody who's very much convinced by this stuff. Because you hear people talk about this stuff all the time, and nobody who talks about it has any evidence of it being a real problem. Yeah.
Wow, I've been living under a rock because this is the first I've ever come across this. But adrenochrome, that does sound like a fictitious compound in the body, because it's sort of a portmanteau of, adrenaline and cytochrome or something other, which are two proteins found in the body. But I don't believe there's an adrenochrome. Not that I'm an expert on human biology, but yeah.
Well, someone will Google it for us and have a look. I think I might have Googled it and found out that it was an actual thing, thinking about it.
Really?
But I'm not entirely sure. But someone will have a look for us.
Yeah, it's just to do with the
I did a deep dive on this a couple of weeks ago, actually. And it's a real chemical. It actually exists as a chemical, but it doesn't... you don't extract it from people, obviously. That stuff's just made up. It isn't a drug that you would take to get high in any way whatsoever. It isn't recreational in any way. It doesn't do anything all the purported effects to it don't really do anything. Evidently, Burroughs, when he wrote about adrenochrome, he just sort of thought it sounded cool and just sort of, it wasn't Burroughs, who was it? Hunter Thompson. We just sort of thought it sounded cool and just sort of wrote it. Evidently made it up, and even when asked about it in an interview, said he just was picked a random word. But it does exist as a chemical compound, and I can't quite remember now what it's for, but it has some sort of medical use, and it's pretty boring. I remember reading about it, was oh, this is not interesting at all.
Right. Okay.
Cool.
Well, anyway, this is part of I'll just say it, QAnon, and that'll probably cost me the video. It's part of that whole story, so that's kind of where this thing has sprung up from.
Well, none of this really matters. What it is, whether it's real, how you get it. The issue here is we've got a problem, and this needs to be stopped. We have a cause. It needs to be supported, and we need to do something about this. And that's it.
Fair enough. Anyway.
Rally the troops.
Oh, go ahead. I
was saying rally the troops, yeah.
Yeah. Staying with the 17th letter of the alphabet, and a much brighter video than the last. We sort of touched on this when we featured Full Cabal, but here it is in all its glory. I wish Cat Earth was here for this. Time-traveling Trump.
What if time travel were not only possible, but had already happened? If someone in this world were to have this power, who would you want it to be? Well, it's not that person. It's Donald Trump. Let's start with Serbian-American super genius, Nikola Tesla. Tesla's New York City laboratory was where he performed some of his strangest experiments. On March 13, 1895, a reporter came across Tesla sitting in a cafe looking shaken. "I am afraid," said Tesla. "You won't find me a pleasant companion tonight. The fact is, I was almost killed today." He described an experiment he had just performed where, upon being struck by an electromagnetic charge, he was able to see into the past, present, and future simultaneously. He was trapped within this energy field and was only able to escape when an assistant shut off the current. Time travel wasn't the only speculative science he was trying to break ground on. Occasionally, he mentioned a project he called a death ray. Nikola Tesla died in his hotel room in 1943. Although he was a fully naturalized American citizen, his effects were seized by the Office of Alien Property, which assumed ownership of assets that could be used by enemies of the United States. Due to the complicated nature of Tesla's papers, an engineering expert was called in to inspect them. His name was John G. Trump, Donald Trump's uncle. Trump's report concluded that none of Tesla's design contained any invention that could be used against the United States by its enemies. As far as official record goes, that was the end of that. John Trump's career continued. Donald Trump frequently implied that he inherited his uncle's brilliance, and perhaps something else as well. On February 9, 2016, in an interview with NBC, he made a strange statement.
I mean, there's a good gene pool right there. I have to do what I have to do.
What exactly is it that he had to do? To understand, we have to go back again to the late 1800s, when Nikola Tesla was experimenting with time travel. At the same time, another New Yorker was hard at work on something. An author named Ingersoll Lockwood. The name of the protagonist of his two most popular titles? Baron Trump. Baron Trump is a little boy who lives in a mansion called Castle Trump, goes on a mission to Russia to locate a portal that will bring him to a new world, and is guided by directions from a manuscript written by a man whose title is Don. Even more compelling is the fact that his character is a spoiled blowhard who talks up his own courage but makes his way through his journey by screwing people over. While we don't know enough about the real Baron Trump to say if it sounds like him, it certainly sounds like his father.
They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
In 1896, Ingersoll Lockwood also published a pamphlet called The Last President, which describes the surprise election of a controversial candidate inspiring mobs to march up Fifth Avenue in Manhattan toward the Fifth Avenue Hotel. In 2017, we are all familiar with this exact scene. So what inspired Ingersoll Lockwood to write these stories which uncannily link to present events? It all hinges on the day that John G. Trump was called in to examine Nikola Tesla's papers. That day, John Trump discovers the plans for a time machine in Tesla's papers. He steals them because he can tell from looking at the design that it might be too powerful for responsible use in the hands of the government. However, he uses the plans to build it for himself, thinking it may allow him to accelerate his own research. In the time machine, he sees an apocalypse caused by Tesla's other fabled invention, the death ray. He can't send himself back because, like Tesla's experiment in 1895 showed, someone else has to operate the machine and nobody else knows how. So he entrusts his nephew Donald Trump, who at the time is a clever young man, to do the traveling. John modifies the machine and sends Donald back to New York City in the 1890s to stop Tesla from inventing the death ray. In the time machine, Donald sees 3 different worlds simultaneously: the past, the present, and the future. In 1890s New York, Donald happens to meet Ingersoll Lockwood and, having seen ahead to the events surrounding his election, as well as the birth of his youngest son, brags about all of it. He is, however, unable or unwilling to intercept Tesla. He returns to the present aware that the end of the world is coming, but ready to profit off the knowledge he gained. He lies to his uncle, tells him the job is done, and sets off on his road to the White House. But time travel is an imperfect science, and the journey caused Donald considerable brain damage, which is becoming more apparent day by day. When it comes time to name the son he knew he'd have, he misspells it, Baron, with 2 R's. Now, as Donald Trump's condition deteriorates, the light he sees at the end of the tunnel is the blinding flash of a mushroom cloud. He knows that total war is his story's inevitable conclusion, and he's actually looking forward to it, as being the president is much less fun than he expected. His ongoing provocation of North Korea's Kim Jong-un is an intentional attempt to usher in the age of destruction that his uncle tried desperately to prevent. Or hey, maybe none of that happened. Everything might be the way it is for completely normal reasons. We'll find out soon enough.
think there are some aspects of that might not be completely true.
Yeah, right. I mean, honestly though, because I talked to Rig about this a few weeks ago, because I guess he'd seen something somewhere, but some of that stuff about like Barron Trump, like the book that has to do with Barron Trump, and that is kind kind of weird.
It
doesn't
really
imply,
is. It is weird. It has to be said. It is weird.
Yeah, it doesn't imply time travel, but it is. It's one of those like funky coincidences, I suppose.
Right.
Mm.
But it does.
Anybody have any idea if Trump has ever commented ever that, like, he's aware of the book, he read it, it maybe inspired the naming of his child after the book and everything?
Yeah,
it's kind of a
possible,
thing.
isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, is it true that there's a character in the book also named Don? That's weird too.
Yeah, apparently that's true. He's like the person that he's like the mentor, I think, in the book.
And it's not like Nikola Tesla ever made a time machine or claimed to or anything like that. But yeah, the fact that he has any relationship to Donald Trump's uncle is also I mean, like I said, it's one of those coincidences. I don't like to use that term, but I mean, what else could it be, right? It's not like
how much of this has been fact checked? I mean, to me, it could all be made from whole cloth. This whole story,
Right.
That book is real.
Yeah, the books do exist. I mean, I haven't. I have to admit, I haven't been through them, but I thought the video was fun in itself.
Oh yeah, that's a great video. Yeah, someone's had a lot of fun making that.
Right. And I think it has to be said for poor Donald Trump that there cannot be a U.S. president in all of history that has had more crap said about them than Donald Trump. It's just unbelievable, the stories that have sprung up around him. It really is.
That's probably true. Given the number of people that exist now and the amount media is propagating stories, it's probably true that he has gotten the worst shake of any president. Of course, there may not have been another president in the history of America that has deserved it more, also, but that's a sort of different subject.
Yeah, a different argument maybe, but I take your point, Scott. But yeah, that was a bit of fun, I thought, anyway.
Look, live by the Conspiritardia sword, die by the Conspiritardia sword. I mean, this is the man that was, talking about, Obama being a Muslim and stuff, and the birther movement. That's where he came to prominence, I think. So you want to stoke up the Conspiritardia movement, then you might die by it. I don't have too much sympathy for that.
That is sort of where I first noticed him involved in politics. But I mean, obviously I'm not an American, so probably before that I wouldn't have come across him. He wouldn't have made it to our news. But that was when I kind of sort of noticing him was with that whole birther thing. Anyway, that's another big chunk of the old 17th letter of the alphabet movement thingy. But it's a kind of a fun bit, that bit. I like it.
I was just going to say that the other fact, so that book's real, and also Donald Trump's uncle really was the one who went over his confiscated papers or whatever.
Right, yeah, that part is true as well, I believe. I think I've come across that one before. So there are some interesting bits to the story, aren't there?
Knowing all this,
have some kernel of truth somewhere lying at the bottom. So
right, that's true. Go ahead, Kurt.
Knowing all this, you still doubt the time travel?
Yeah.
For real.
And Barron Trump does look a lot like Donald Trump too.
Well, some people have said, I'm not able to flesh this out very well, I'm afraid, because it's a sort of faint memory. But some people have said that if time travel was possible ever, then there would be current evidence of it occurring. And other people have said there is current evidence of it occurring. But I can't remember what it was.
There's not. Time travel to the past, I don't think so. But Stephen Hawking once threw a party. And he told nobody about it. And it was 4 time travelers. and so he publicized it afterwards so that nobody would go to it unless they were time travelers. And of course, he ended up being at a party by himself for some reason. He wanted to throw a party, but I mean, that was his way of proving that it's not possible. But
Right.
I think you're right, though. If it were possible, there'd be evidence of it. I honestly, I don't think it's possible to go back to the past. Yeah, personally.
Oh yeah, I just remembered too. There was something in there that jumped out at me as a possible flaw, at least in reasoning, and that is the part about I don't remember which person is alleged to be doing it, but somebody being aware of this being the end of the world and profiting off of it. As if there's any use to profiting from the end of the world. You've got no way to use it, spend it, gain from it. It's the end of the world.
Well,
Yeah, right.
not if you've got a time machine. You can just keep hopping back a few years, can't you? And
Yeah, but you do that if the
but then
world
you
ends.
haven't got the profit, have you?
Yeah, you don't have your money.
Yeah, I think the argument was that he hates being president, and so that's why he wants to. He's trying to usher in the Armageddon.
Right, yeah. Oh, it's gone all very Groundhog Day. All right, back to the Flatties. A team of students produced this mini documentary about FE, which I have stolen for your pleasure. Enjoy.
I'm doing this because, first of all, I'm angry that I've been lied to. I'm angry that my children have been lied to, and all future generations are going to continue unless people wake up to this. And I'm doing it to wake as many people up as I can.
Over the past couple of months, we have been studying and learning of one of the biggest conspiracy theories to date, Flat Earth. We met up with Robin Campbell to learn more about his views and why him and many other people believe that the Earth is flat.
An overview of Flat Earth theory is, it's the idea that what we've been told is a lie, and for those that have looked into it, realise there's no proof of a globe. What they end up with is no evidence for curvature, and the maps and models that predate heliocentrism seem to work better. So the Gleason's map, otherwise known as azimuth or equidistant map, is very similar to the UN map, which is the Earth is a collection of lands surrounded by water, the oceans, all held in by the Antarctic rim. Flat Earth is like level 10 of conspiracies. It's so out there, but so challenging. For most people, it's just a step too far, and that's called cognitive dissonance, where you just can't. It's also known as normalcy bias, where you just snap back to what's normal for you. Because everyone knows the Earth's a globe, right? It's agreed. It's a consensus. But I would recommend people go looking into things like 5G, the big pharmaceutical companies who all want you sick, the suppression of cancer cures. What you'll find is there is a conspiracy amongst the big global elites. They happen to be the directors and shareholders of mega corporations, and they act in their own interests. Anything that will make me quit Flat Earth. I'd like to see video footage of an astronaut going all the way up to the space station, docking, getting in. Then I'd like to see video footage of the World Cup, something live, a live action event where we can see, oh, there's Ronaldo scoring the goal. Live footage from the ISS. It should be a piece of cake, right? We've got satellites zooming in all the time. That would be very compelling, but I know it won't happen because it's not possible.
After meeting with Robin, he advised us to go away and look more into Flat Earth. So, we went away and began independent research looking at potential facts and theories on how the Earth may be flat. Although we were still unsure about our own views on Flat Earth, we were surprised and amazed as to how many people believe the Earth is flat. But we are also more shocked at the amount of censored flat earth content that is online, and why this needs to be censored. Speaking to Robin has opened our eyes into new communities and beliefs, and we thank Robin for opening up to us about his life and his reasoning for his beliefs. Now it's up to you. Which conspiracy theories do you believe? And has the idea of conspiracy theories gone too far?
And that was Robin Campbell, who we've come across before a few times in that one, who is on YouTube is Lifting the Lid. I don't know really if there's a lot we can say about that one. It was short and sweet. Any thoughts, gentlemen?
I think Robin's reasonable. We should be able to broadcast a live football game from a satellite. Just zoom in and show Ronaldo scoring the goal. It's a pretty simple request. The government's refusal to give us what we want here shows that they're absolutely 100% lying to us.
Any thoughts? Anyone else?
Well, I think you should just watch my video that we talked about earlier, Jem, where we can zoom in and see clouds that other people have seen live. So, yeah.
Right. That should be sufficient, shouldn't it? It's a sort of alternative to
not quite exactly what he wanted, but of course, yeah. I mean, all of space technology should be designed to satisfy flat earthers. That's, of course, the only objective in sending stuff up into space.
Right.
It's not like it's useful.
Yeah, they often seem to. I often have to remind them of that. I often tell them that nothing, not a cent of budget of any space project has been devoted to proving anything to flat earthers, and never will it be, I hope. Well, actually, maybe I won't say never will it be, because someone will probably do something, but
yeah, well, maybe someone will go fund me a trip for some flat earthers to, Bigelow's Space Hotel or something over. And maybe someone can push them out the door while they're there, like the B arc. Maybe we could go fund me a B arc, in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy style. If you're familiar with the B arc.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
I honestly, I think that all those, because people claim that a lot, like, oh, well, when there's, space travel for everybody, or when they go up there, or this or that. I think, honestly, my opinion, there'll be people who over time, lose interest in it, or lose, come to reason about the shape of the Earth. But there's people who are there's people who believe it who don't. There's easy evidences that are available today, and they don't go and check them out. So
right.
I think they're gonna avoid doing anything like that. Anything like going to the ISS or to commercial space travel or the Bigelow Hotel or anything.
Yeah, well, Spokismo, turned Rhetoric down on a, Red was going to pay for him to come to visit him in Florida and see some rocket launches, and Gizmo just, didn't even take him up on that. So that was, at almost no cost to the man. So I think you're probably right.
Yeah, that sounds like our chemo. I wonder what excuses he came up with not to go. I bet he came up with a few. Anyway, like I say, that was a bit samey, wasn't it, that documentary? They did the whole, that quote about what percentage of millennials don't know what the shape of the Earth is or whatever. The usual crap we see in these things. Anyway, Kosho, Scott's left us. What a bummer, because he would like this, and you will too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
You will like this.
Yeah.
I thought this was really well done. It's a flat Earth rap battle brought to you by K Rhino. Have I said that right, Kosho?
No, yeah, that's right. That's right.
This will probably get me into. Is he famous?
famous enough that it's good of you to say his name and give him credit. I think that's all.
All right. I wonder. It might get me into trouble, but what the hell? I thought this was awesome.
He's made a song with ODD before.
Oh, right. Oh, well, maybe not quite so famous. Anyway, enjoy this. It's cool. And it's coming up. Well, that didn't seem that popular in the chat. But I thought that was brilliant. Really clever, I thought.
They're not rap fans, most likely. I remember when I first heard that, I was the only thing I was upset about was that I hadn't done, because I was talking about doing that with Chemo. We were supposed to do a rap battle, and I heard this. I was like, oh, there's no way we're gonna make anything that sounds better than this. Like he did a good job at because when I first heard this, I couldn't tell if he was a flat earther or not. Like he wrote both sides as if
right
with a decent, like there's not like one side that's taken the hit. You know what I mean? It's like the globe side. Those are legitimate global arguments.
Right. And he rhymed like miscellaneously and simultaneously. Like, fucking hell, that was clever.
It's pretty good.
I'm not a rap fan, you know. I really not mad keen on rap music, but I just thought that was just really, really cool. Really well done.
Yeah, it's better than Chocolate Sands, that's for sure.
Definitely.
I heard Brummies, and I think even Gleams that I heard before was all right. Brummies was pretty good. I think in contrast to Chocolate Sands, who's is just so cheesy.
Yeah, I thought Brummies was pretty good. I was surprised actually at how good it was. It was a bit of a shock.
Yeah, and better than MC Tune too.
Yeah. We've got a super chat which says Reds was obviously going to murder and replace Spurs with a Globe clone. And that's from Brian Peck. Thank you very much for the super chat, Brian.
On that rap, I can't really comment on it artistically. It's not something that I can judge. But one thing that stood out to me was that, Flat Earth, they have a wrong answer for everything, and I think that that's pretty compelling.
That's hilarious. That's a good point. That's hilarious. And they do have a wrong response for everything. That is true.
That is true. Anyway, shall we have another clip? It's a good one, this. How are we doing for time? Well, we're racing through it, aren't we? All right, next, some utter brilliance, in my opinion. This is one of the best videos I have seen in 5 years of following Flat Earth. That is a high accolade indeed, I think. And it's produced by, I'm going to say this wrong, Michael Skouboe. Anyway, I'm going to be posting his link in a minute. Probably said that incorrectly. Anyway, he's a new channel with only 29 subscribers. So please go and subscribe. We definitely want more like this. The link is in the description. And hang on, when I get a web page handy. Here it is. Sorry, guys. Bear with me a sec. I'll just stick this in the chat. So please all go and subscribe to his channel. And let's enjoy his video, which I've now lost. Bear with me, guys. Sorry.
It is a funny one.
It's a good one, isn't it? It's here. And enjoy. I just thought that was just brilliant. Really, really well done. Loved it.
Really well done. Especially, I don't know. You can feel like the message throughout, especially at the end too. It's like, it's basically like this. This is the best case scenario of what they would accomplish if they are as successful as they'd like to be.
Yeah.
And it really is what would happen. They would just rediscover the things that we've already discovered.
Right.
And some fool, I guess he has to be from Texas for some reason. That's kind of messed up. But some fool, 100 years from now is going to say the same thing that they said. I guess that'll always be the case.
Yeah. Any thoughts, TT?
Yeah, well, it reminds me of a line I once heard Ricky Gervais say that even if all science was wiped away by some massive explosion, it'd all be rediscovered again. So I mean, yeah, this is a perfect video that describes that because that's the way reality is, and that's the way human beings work. We discover shit. So yeah.
I've just updated the description with your channel link, by the way, because someone was asking in the chat, so I should have had that there earlier. Sorry about that.
No,
so
that's all right.
if you refresh the page, you should get the links to the TTguy's channel and Michael Skouboe's channel, whose video that we just watched. Right, I hope that will work, but I loved that video. I thought that was brilliant. And someone's saying I haven't sent a proper link, but I tested the link and it worked. Can someone check the link?
I'm testing it now.
It worked for me. I'm sure it, unless I pasted it in wrong. The one in the chat, the one in the description box, that works. I've checked that. So please go to his channel and subscribe. It'd be nice if he gets a nice little flurry of people in there, won't it? So anyway, are we on our last clip already? I think we are. Let's have a look. We are indeed. Wow, we've raced through it tonight. Okay, so finally this evening, what could be better than a video with me in it? Not much, I know. Sadly, though, it's not just me. Here is Bev Try Thinking, courtesy of Everett Anderson. Please also subscribe to his channel, which is also, that is in the description, because he has the best taking the piss out of flat earth content on YouTube, in my opinion, and he's uploading regularly. So thanks to Everett for this. I hope you don't mind me nicking it, mate. I'm sure you won't. And enjoy.
Overlap where the globe heads can't say that your gravitational center is being changed every time you move because your observation lines are overlapping by
two points. So this point in between here and here is the shared segment of a line.
Yep.
It's shared between this one, from this point, and this point. It's shared, and that's going to happen all the way along. So you are always sharing a shared straight line segment. A few months ago, I was coming back from a job with me. Oh, it was coming back with my lad actually, and we parked up at my dad's house, and we saw some surveyors outside, and they were just on the road, and they were setting up to you're packing away as though they'd done the job. So I ran over the road to go and have a word with them, and I recorded it. So I'll just load this up here, and then I'll play it. I mean, you guys want to play it here, then you know what you're talking about. It'll be on the YouTube going live, but if you're not necessarily watching that, you can be able to listen to it in here, right? So I'm playing it now. Hey, mate. doing a bit of a project about level with the lad, right? It's horizontal, right? Yeah. It's nothing else.
See, I call it vertical because it's up and down.
Well, it's perpendicular, isn't it?
Yeah.
Horizontal and vertical. Level is, it's not curved at all, is it?
No, it's flat.
Can't have a curve in it.
Can't be curved, no, it's flat.
Brilliant. Cheers, mate.
All right.
So, the water level in the canal.
Yeah.
Horizontal, right?
Yeah, so, yeah.
Because like it goes...
That's what the lock does. The lock changes the level, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So in theory, from one lock to the next, the water level should be the same.
So, like here, the canal goes from Liverpool Locks
Y'all still there?
all the way to Hackney Bridge.
Yeah.
27 miles.
Yeah.
One level. I can't hear anybody. I guess Bell might be busy with something.
No locks from Liverpool all the way. This is the.
Can anybody?
South
video.
Oh,
I know.
Otherwise, your water would spill out of it.
Hello. Horizontal, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So.
Cheers, mate.
Right, so we just heard the surveyor, basically confirmation that surveyors, I don't know, surveyors aren't aware that level is meant to curve at any point.
To do with
it's the most accurate level,
okay,
actually.
Forget all about your pointless, stupid test, okay? This is a different question I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Right? This question is, in the reality that you and I share, there are people, many people, who call themselves geodetic surveyors who claim to be measuring the curvature of the Earth.
I've never
talked
talked
to
to
them.
them.
They do it. I don't care how they do it. Doesn't matter. That is their claim. How do you account for that in your worldview? What are they mistaken? Are they lying? How do you account for that?
The only person I've ever heard, well, there's actually 3 claim to be surveyors. Jesse Kozlowski, the main surveyor, and Aaron Burrell. And I don't know whether but they claim to be surveyors. I mean, George has also claimed to do it, but I don't think he claims to be a surveyor.
So basically, then.
So they've said that they can measure and have measured the curvature, right, of the water level and the drop from horizontal.
I'm not asking you about specific people on YouTube. Is your claim now?
They're the only geodetic surveyors I know, though.
Okay.
Right,
okay,
especially the ones that have made that claim.
So your response to the idea that there are geodetic survey, your response to my claim that there are geodetic surveyors and that geodetic surveys have existed and have taken place over many hundreds of, well, the last couple of hundred years at least, accurately. Your response to that is to just say that actually hasn't happened. And there's just these 2 people on YouTube who say it has.
Well, yeah.
3.
I know, the 2 of them are definitely on YouTube. One of them's just on Twitter claiming this. We call him the disco ball surveyor. Yeah.
Yeah. So your response, just to clarify, your response is to just deny geodetic surveying exists.
Like I say, I've only talked to them 3, and I don't think they're real surveyors, to be honest. But I mean, I don't know. I've never actually talked to.
Okay, but.
Any others?
Beyond that, just say, I don't know, I could Google it, right? There's a wiki page on it, right?
Yeah, there's a Reddit surveying thing.
So what do you think the wiki page is there for if the thing doesn't exist and it's just these 3 guys on YouTube? Have they set up the wiki page, do you think?
Well, I've actually, it's strange you say that, because I've been chatting to a few surveyors. I've been asking them about the test and all of that, and they don't seem to understand or know about whether there would be anything in the water level, and even they don't know. So it's a good test at the minute.
Hang on. That's because you do this door stepping technique, not really saying what you're what you mean, and are deliberately confusing. I've just done a Google search and I just put geodesy textbook, and there's, you know, these, I don't know, 5 textbooks come up straight away. So how do you account for the fact that these textbooks exist from this thing that
I don't know. You've just
claim-
Googled them. They obviously exist.
Did
I
the
mean,
3
well done.
people on YouTube write all these textbooks and get them on Google?
I don't know.
Docs?
You've just Googled them. You know more about them than I do.
So you well, your claim is that it's just these 3 guys on YouTube, and that
They're the only ones I've heard in the surveying world claim that there is a measurable drop of the water level from horizontal. Yes.
So when you heard that, never occurred to you to Google geodesy? This is the depth of your research into this.
No,
subject.
Listen, Jem. I went out to prove it to myself. Right. That was the idea. That's the whole idea.
Right, but surely
how can I prove this to myself?
I understand that, but surely you want some knowledge of the field, right? You seem to be very interested.
Surveying, I have done land surveying in college,
well,
right?
Let me return to the question then. Why are these textbooks on Google for this thing that doesn't exist?
But they can't. These people that you talk about, right, cannot use the level that I use, because that's horizontal. That's a Euclidean geometry tool, right?
How does that explain why these books are on Google?
I don't know.
They're all called geodesy.
I don't know. Did you write them?
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Brought to you courtesy of Everett Anderson, who makes some great videos. And I did it! Yay!
Yeah. Well, don't.
I interrupted him a lot, didn't I? Man, I'm bad.
Well, you remember that was after that sad debate that I tried to put together with him.
Right.
And it's I mean, I don't want to just talk trash about this guy, but he's very boring. It made for a very boring discussion, because he just going over the definition of simple words, and they have to mean exactly what he's saying for his argument to make any sense. And the one thing that I noticed that you also pressed him on was, if you have an honest argument, or if you have an honest point and it's a valid point, then when asking a question to somebody like these stranger surveyors, you don't have to ask it in a misleading way. Like, you shouldn't have to do that in order to get the answer that you're looking for. So, I mean, that should be evident to him. Of course, it won't be, but
right.
I think you pointed that out, though, too.
Yeah, it's the same as those videos you see where they're talking to an airline pilot and they're saying, the Earth's flat, isn't it? And they go, oh, yeah, mate, yeah. You see? Yeah, the airline pilot said it's flat. And they're clearly just, humouring some Wally who they think he's having a joke or something,
Yeah, or they just... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go
ahead. Get off my plane, you moron! Oh my God, you're a risk. I think. What's this?
Yeah. Have you heard Bev in action, TT?
Yeah, I have heard him in action a little bit on Jose's show, and I mean, I agree with the comment about let's just have a boring conversation about what some word in a dictionary means,
right?
And let's debate that. I mean, oh my goodness me,
I mean,
ho-hum.
I once asked him about that, and I said, "What?" I said, "If we conceded to you that whatever it is, what does he argue? Horizontal is level or something? I can't remember."
Well, it's really level equals flat. That's all.
So I said, if we conceded that to you, that this definition means what you say it means, what then? Where would that? How would that get you anywhere? He said, "Well," I said, "Well, what would your next step be in the argument?" He said, no, there isn't one. I just want, he's basically just, his campaign is to change or get people to accept a specific definition of a word. He doesn't, apparently, well, I mean, he's not telling the truth, obviously. He's avoiding the burden of proof, but he's not saying the earth is flat. He's not a flat earther. He'll tell you that repeatedly, even though he's got like flat earth stickers all over his spirit level and just flat Earth stuff. He's surrounded by stuff that says flat Earth, but he'll tell you he's not a flat Earther because the Earth's got mountains and valleys.
Yeah. Well, yeah, different professions will have specific definitions of words. It's called jargon.
Right.
All different professions have jargon. And yeah, I mean, it can make it hard for people to break in and understand what people mean, but jargon is a very useful shorthand for communicating, in your profession. I mean, most people out there that in their profession, they can probably think of some jargon that they need to sort of dumb down or something or other, or define to people if they're not in their same profession. People forget that. Yeah.
Well,
level, yes. Level can mean different things.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I've said this before, though, too, and I'm almost certain this is the case. There was a Friday night fight last year where Fight the Flat Earth had come on the show to debate with Bev. And even though Bev was on about, he wasn't as focused as he was, after that debate, because it was when he basically invoked that Bev, he accused him of child abuse, basically, if he teaches his kid that, which I disagree with. I mean, there's no reason to say that. I think because he said it to him on air and he was serious about it, and they were giving shots back and forth, and they all took it all personally. I think that he's taken that personally ever since then, and he's got like a mission to disprove that. I told him he shouldn't focus on that.
He does have a bee in his bonnet about that, yeah, because he sort of puts it on everyone else, doesn't he? Are you saying that? Well, I've never said that. Because I wouldn't say that, because, ultimately, parents around the world, from my point of view, tell their kids all sorts of nonsensical crap. All sorts of gods and stuff that I don't believe in. So, telling them that the Earth is flat is no different to that. It's none of my business what a parent tells their children. That's how I see it.
Yeah, that brother Ernest dude, he seemed like a good dad. I remember when I saw that clip a few weeks ago. I didn't think there's anything wrong with that. Back when he was a flat earther.
Right.
Yeah, but so yeah, I think that's why though, like, because it is weird that he doesn't talk about anything else.
Right.
It's just this, and so he's not going to budge from it either for that reason.
Right. Curved, your thoughts?
Well, I'm glad you played this clip because I caught something here that I didn't when I was there listening to it as it happened. Bev mentioned how he went out and tried to prove it to himself, but he just couldn't do it. And I have newfound respect for Bev due to this, because I can sense how hard he just tried to prove the globe to himself and couldn't. I know that's a big aspect for you with flat earthers, and you probably have more compassion for him after that as well.
Yeah, well,
he just tried so hard.
I stayed awake for weeks.
Yeah, they all trot out that line, didn't they? At first I tried to debunk it, but I just couldn't.
But did he try thinking?
Yeah.
Did he actually try thinking?
I used that against him so many times.
Yeah.
That's why it's his name that's on his to-do list. He is going to try this.
One day. I'll get to that. Yep, right. Yeah.
But, very simply with the definition thing, it's difficult to read surveying information, especially surveying glossaries, where they give you the definitions of the words and you can read the difference between horizontal and level. And that's why I just pull my hair out and throw my hands up wondering what, Bev, please, he's been asked so many times, supply an actual citation, from surveyors that agree with you.
Right.
And of course, he has no intention of ever doing that.
Right. Yeah. It is a shame in some respects that the argument's been dragged into these sort of semantic corners. I saw Riley trying one earlier on. What was his one? He made a post, something to do with gravity. Did you see that, anyone?
Yeah. If you're talking about recently, no, if you're talking about the conversation I had with him that he was recording, and put on his show, it was ridiculous. It was the most ridiculous thing I've seen in Flat Earth probably so far. And yeah, what he admitted to making it all up. He did all this complicated math and did like your body's density divided by whatever density of the object that's falling in the medium, and then basically if it's greater than or less than 1, that determines if it's negative or positive. So if it's going up or down, but also that's arbitrary. You can change it at any point, according to him.
Yeah,
it's like the whole thing is just arbitrary and made up. And he even admits that. He's like, yeah, it's just like your gravity, but he's like, with this math like this, it definitely gives people more reason to see or to believe it or whatever. I'm like, what the hell? You're just basically admitting that it's a lie.
Right.
Well, another thing with Riley, it's important to remember, we have firsthand accounts from more than one person who has been, in his presence that both state that he smells.
Yeah, if Cat was here, well.
That has been said, hasn't it? Of food, someone said.
No, I heard of fat people smell. You all know the smell. It's an unfortunate smell.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we'll wrap it up, shall we? Although, for our audience tonight, there's a very, very special treat. Because following this show, and we're actually finishing, we're a little bit early, so we've gone a little bit early. But in about 15, 20 minutes, it's Tau Ceti Alpha's full retard mode number... I can't remember what number it is.
Let's call it 30.
I think, yeah. Hang on, I had it open.
It might be 32.
38. It's number 38. And that's coming up in about 15, 20 minutes time from now. The link is in the description. And hang on. Here it is. Let me just make sure I've got it. Hang on. Stick it in a couple more times.
You're good at sharing the wealth, Jem.
Yeah.
Passing it around.
Try and look after our YouTube friends. So get yourselves over there. If you enjoyed what was in this show, you are definitely going to enjoy this. Because it's solid derp without us jabbering in between. And you'll love it. So get yourselves over there. I want to say thank you to our panel and thank you to the TTguy for coming to see us this evening. Thank you, mate. Hope you've enjoyed
Thanks
it.
for having me. Oh, yeah, that was awesome. I've been looking forward to being invited to this. So, yeah, and you made it happen.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate. You'll be back soon, I'm sure. I hope.
Oh, well, if you have me, yep.
Definitely,
I'll be back.
mate. Definitely.
All right, cheers.
Right.
Bye now.
So, what do I have to say now? I've got some words here, which are a great big thank you to everyone who has donated to my PayPal so far. If you can support the show, please follow the links in the description. And please, please, please subscribe to the channel. Join us again next week for more fabulous flatness. In the meantime, if you see something that you think should be included in the show, please post a timestamp link in the comments section of this video. Or join our Discord server. The link is in the description along with channel links for tonight's panel. Our Discord has over 2,000 members and we managed to keep a conversation going virtually 24/7. We also stream it live on this channel if you don't fancy coming in. But we welcome members with opposing views, so click the link and join us. Thanks again to tonight's fabulous panel. Thanks to all of you for watching. We'll be back around the same time next week. So until then, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Stop talking about it and do something! Suck my dick, Earth, with that bullshit. Really?
It's like a gentle hate. Do we have another benevolent star here? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you benevolent as your friend was?
My name is Logan Paul, and I think I'm coming out of the flat earth closet.
This is so fucking depressing. I can't be a flat earth person.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have a flat earth and things making sense.